Beijing's in a panic. As the CCP's fourth plenum opens, power is tearing apart. Rumors say Li Qiang submitted a resignation letter. Xi Jinping slammed the table and barked, "No resignation allowed." The 82nd Group Army reportedly moved into Beijing on alert. Zhang Youxia and Lu Yuan are suspected of encircling the Jingxi Hotel. The PLA Daily's front page, "Two resolutes, pledge looks like schizophrenic loyalty," praising Xi while expelling his confidants. This meeting isn't a meeting, it's a showdown in Zhongnanhai. Don't miss the next drop, subscribe and enable the bell. Beijing, something has happened. As the CCP's fourth plenum just opened, 3 bombshells broke. Li Qiang handed in his resignation letter. Xi Jinping slammed the table and roared, "No resignation allowed." The 82nd Group Army entered Beijing on guard, with Zhang Youxia and Lu Yuan suspected of surrounding the Jingxi Hotel. The PLA Daily ran a front-page editorial that both supports Xi and expels Xi's trusted aides at the same time. All of Zhongnanhai has fallen into an unprecedented collision of power. In Beijing's political circles, people say this plenum isn't really a meeting at all, it's an internal war. So the question in Beijing now isn't who obeys whom, but who is still listening to whose orders. The real agenda of the CCP's fourth plenum isn't the 15th five-year plan or economic recovery, but who can walk out of the Jingxi Hotel alive. Li Qiang tenders resignation. She slams the table. The shield must not shatter. According to the commentator, Shan Hedongfu, party elders Wen Jiabao and Wang Yang recently demanded that members of the Politburo Standing Committee write self-criticisms over the economic downturn and submit them to the Central Decision-Making and Consciousness Coordination Small Group for review. Premier Li Qiang was the most proactive. He not only wrote more than 10 pages of self-criticism but attached a handwritten resignation letter. When the news reached party leader Xi Jinping, she quickly instructed, "Self-criticisms can be written, but resignation is not to be raised." Insiders say this response wasn't a spur-of-the-moment outburst, but reflected Xi's fear. If Li Qiang resigns, she loses a firewall. To Xi, Li Qiang isn't just a symbol of trust, but also a buffer of responsibility. As long as Li remains, policy failures can be attributed to the government level. If he voluntarily steps down, the balance of power collapses in an instant and all blame points to Xi himself. The shield must not shatter, even if it's riddled with holes. In Beijing's political chatter, this line is used privately to describe Xi's current state of mind. This episode also exposes the reality inside the Xi camp. It's not a monolith, it's riven by shadow wars. Kai Chi squeezes Li Qiang, the Zhongnanhai shadow war escalates. Outsiders think Li Qiang's posture is low-key, but more of it is institutional downgrading. For example, during Li's October 9th to 11th trip to North Korea, he again took a chartered plane rather than a state aircraft. This rule changed after Kai Chi took over the general office in March 2023, ostensibly to highlight Xi's one and only status. Also, during the September 2025 Beijing parade, CCTV's live broadcast never showed Xi and Li Qiang in the same frame. In 2015 and 2019, Xi and Li Keqiang did appear together at times. This technical disappearance traces back to the picture control power of the Central Propaganda Department and the General Office. Commentator Du Jing argues, Kai Chi is both the propaganda czar on the Politburo Standing Committee and head of the War of Resistance Commemoration Leadership Group. Preventing same-frame shots is precision power signaling. The strongest general office chief versus the weakest premier. In today's Zhongnanhai, a saying is popular: there are two centrals, one is Xi himself, the other is the general office. Many claims of reported to the Central Committee in practice mean reported either to Xi or to the general office/Kai Chi. Often it's vetted by Kai first, then presented to Xi. The party controls everything fulcrum is now clenched in the general office hub. By contrast, though Li Qiang ranks number 2 on the standing committee, he's often called the weakest premier in history. The premier's press conference at the 2 sessions was cancelled. The amended organic law of the State Council puts the party above the State Council's administrative system. Economic decision-making power has been stripped away, turning Li into a shopkeeper, an executor. Kai's eyes and ears, Wu Jinglong plus Kai Erjin. Du Jing notes that Wu Jinglong, as State Council's Secretary General, Li Qiang's majordomo, reports Li's movements to Kai Chi wherever Li goes, effectively planting a monitor beside the premier. Kai Chi's son Kai Erjin is said to be a deputy director in the NDRC's infrastructure department. The NDRC is a core State Council organ. This plants another eye on Li Qiang's turf. If she falls, Kai versus Li will clash. After Li took office, Hong Kong media reported his ancestral graves have round-the-clock guards. In September 2023, online leaks circulated about his wife and daughter's ties with business circles. To insiders, these aren't gossip, they're factional signaling. In Beijing's reading, if your handles are in opponents' hands, you can only endure. Around the Beidai season, state media harped for days on the card game, Guangdong, insinuating Zhejiang cliques. At the same time, the strictest drinking ban hit dining and business socializing, forcing localities to ease up by September. Zhejiang even subsidized banquets. Tightening and loosening, two forces arm wrestling, central rectification versus the southern economic faction's self-rescue. Du Zheng, citing a Beijing insider, she's health is indeed poor. If she suddenly collapses, Kai Chi and Li Qiang will fight for supreme power. By current party ranking, if the general secretary's post is vacant, the logical interim successor would be the premier, Li Qiang. But historically, Liu Shaoqi, then in charge of the secretariat, acted 3 times for Mao as de facto number 2. With no designated successor, if she suddenly dies, Li and Kai will almost certainly battle. Hu Jintao's Tuanpai gets stripped in a string. On the eve of the plenum, personnel shifts in Beijing have been popping like firecrackers. In just 2 days, 3 key figures from Hu Jintao's Youth League faction were removed: Han Liping, Jiang Ling, and Gui Yuanxiang. Once seen as old Hu's continuers, they were ousted in near unison, read as a pre-clearance by Xi's camp before the plenum. Hu Jintao's chief aide Han Liping abruptly dismissed. On the afternoon of October 17, the organization department suddenly announced, Wang Yuyan will serve as party chief of the All-China Federation of Supply and Marketing Cooperatives. Han Liping is removed. It looks routine, but there's more. Who is Han Liping? Not an ordinary official, he served as Hu Jintao's key central office aide during Hu's 2002 to 2012 tenure as General Secretary, State President, and CMC Chairman. Born in 1960, a Beijinger, he long worked in the central office, as director of the Retired Cadres Bureau, then deputy director and head of the Secretariat Bureau. In 2019 he became party chief of the Supply and Marketing System, a full minister-level post. It looks economic but straddles party and state, a traditional placement for system insiders. Hu Chunhua's chief aide Jiang Ling removed. Next, on October 19, Xinhua said, Hunan province adjusted Luoyang's top post. Chen Chunjiang replaces Jiang Ling, who no longer holds the position. Jiang Ling was Hu Chunhua's core aide in Guangdong, rising from mayor of Qingyuan to mayor of Zhuhai, then provincial standing committee member and secretary general, before going to Hunan to run Luoyang. Known as hands-on, during the Zhengzhou flood year, he was patrolling dikes at midnight. Now he's removed with no reason, no new appointment, no reassignment, just no longer serves. A longtime observer of local careers said bluntly, such removals without a destination usually signal worsening political weather. Wuhan Party chief Gui Yuanxiang replaced. Third, Hubei Standing Committee member and Wuhan Party secretary Gui Yuanxiang. On October 18, China News Service announced, Gui Yuanxiang no longer serves, Sheng Yuchun takes over. Sheng hails from Zhejiang, long serving in Hangzhou and Shaoxing, considered known to both Li Qiang and Kai Chi. On the surface, it's local rotation, in essence, another factional sweep. Gui just turned 60 and is a 20th Central Committee alternate, stepping down now likely ends his climb. The official line gave no reason. For these 3 removals, some media say, not coincidence, but Xi's camp clearing the Youth League, to preset the meeting's tone, the core is singular, no challenges allowed. Others say today's officialdom is peculiar. For Han, Jiang, Gui, whether they await promotion or purging depends on the plenum's outcome. If she weathers the storm, they're finished. If whose faction wins, they might rise immediately. Some add Riley, even current provincial heavies from Xi's camp, like Hubei's Wang Zhonglin, Hunan's Lu Ning, aren't safe. After their terms, these removed ones might return. This office reincarnation talk has become tea-time banter in Beijing. Appearances are personnel shifts, essence is a power stress test. Who dares move, who can hold, who still has cards. The 82nd Group Army enters Beijing and the PLA Daily Editorial. The most sensitive part of the plenum is military power. Shanhe Dongfu claims, Zhang Yoxia and Lu Yuan picked special operations troops from the 82nd Group Army to station around the Jingxi Hotel, some disguised as security and medical staff. Before the meeting, Lu met privately with Public Security Minister Wang Xiaohong, warning, any actions disrupting the plenum are dangerous, to which Wang replied, the meeting will proceed as scheduled, rest assured. Sounds soothing, but actually evasive, hinting at mutual distrust between military and police. Meanwhile, the PLA Daily's October 18 front page ran an editorial. The party center decided to expel 9 generals, He Weidong, Miao Hua, He Hongjun, etc., from the party and hand them to military prosecutors. The paper stressed that the entire military must resolutely support the party center's decision, maintain a high degree of unity with the party center with Xi at the core, and resolutely obey the party center, the Central Military Commission, and Chairman Xi. The irony: these purged generals were mostly promoted by Xi while he chaired the CMC. If Xi still fully controlled the army, he wouldn't cut off his own arms, targeting loyal confidants. Thus, the party center decision may actually be Zhang Youxia, who currently holds the troops' loyalties, moving first before the plenum to cleanse Xi's men and nail things down, to prevent any reversal by Xi. Judging from the PLA Daily, Zhang seems to be purging Xi's underlings in Xi's name. Former Navy Lieutenant Commander Yao Qiang remarks, CCP soldiers aren't soldiers, they're politicians. They lean to whoever is stronger. The editorial's 2 resolutes actually shows the top is still fighting for the army's heart. Many in uniform are watching, few truly want to pull the trigger. Having guns is one thing, daring to fire is another. 4th Plenum, the battlefield of power. Pulling threads together, the plenum's surface agenda is the 15th five-year plan, but the core substance is whether Xi can keep the CMC chairmanship. Zhang Youxia may command the troops' hearts but can't easily shake the Politburo. Xi holds party power but his grip on the military is shaky. Lu Yuan's concern and Wang Xiaohong's evasion mirror this power on the cliff moment. As one Beijing watcher put it, the 4th plenum isn't merely a meeting, it's an internal nuclear detonation. Whoever walks out of the Jingxi Hotel alive gets to talk about the future. Winds rise over Jingxi, who laughs last. This autumn, Beijing's wind feels especially cold. Li Qiang's resignation letter, the stripping of Youth League cadres, and the PLA Daily's high-profile editorial all point to one reality: the very top of the CCP is reseating the power order. Whispers, news, and images are only the prelude. The real showdown is underway inside the Jingxi Hotel.